Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we take all those amazing article and guides you share with us, and we really just strip them down to the most powerful, actionable bits.
It's great to be here.
And thank you so much for sending this one in. It's a genuinely fascinating topic.
It really is. I mean, this whole idea of cycle syncing nutrition, it's moving right to the forefront of personalized wellness.
Absolutely. It feels like a huge step away from that old, one-size-fits-all advice.
Oh, completely. We're moving away from just eat healthy to something much more strategic, something that works with your body's rhythm, not against it.
Okay, so let's unpack that. We're diving deep into aligning what you eat with the different phases of the menstrual cycle. The guide calls it cycle syncing nutrition, and it's all about managing everything from energy to mood.
And our mission for this deep dive is super clear. We're pulling out the most important, the most personalized, and the most science-backed strategies we can find.
All from the material provided by bfit.ai, which is just an excellent source.
A fantastic source. We want to give you a shortcut so you can stop just reacting to symptoms, the sudden fatigue or those intense cravings.
And start being proactive, using food as a tool to support your hormones phase by phase.
Exactly. And I think that's why it's gaining so much traction now in 2025. The whole conversation around women's health is finally shifting.
From just suppressing symptoms to, actually supporting the physiology.
That's the heart of it. People aren't satisfied with generic solutions anymore. They want science-based strategies that actually optimize their hormonal health.
It's not just about surviving your cycle anymore.
No, it's about managing PMS, keeping your energy stable all month long, and feeling, empowered by understanding what's going on inside your own body. Gives you a sense of control.
And we really do have to give a shout out to the resource here. The core material for this comes from those data-driven articles on bfit.ai. They are so good at cutting through the wellness myths.
They really ground the advice in specific, actionable science. It lets us get into the why behind all the suggestions.
Perfect. So let's set the stage. We're going to go through this chronologically, phase by phase.
But not just a list of foods.
No, we're going to explore the hormonal reasons why you need certain nutrients at certain times. And we're going to start at, maybe surprisingly, the lowest point.
The menstrual phase.
Yeah.
It's all about replenishing before you can build back up.
All right, phase 1, the menstrual phase. We're talking days 1 through 5, roughly. This is when, most people report feeling tired, maybe a low mood, some physical discomfort.
Right.
Before we even get to the food, what is happening hormonally? What's the baseline here?
Internally, it's the biological low point. Estrogen and progesterone, those two main hormones, they've dropped off a cliff.
And that's what triggers the period.
That's what triggers the shedding of the uterine lining, yes. And that big hormonal drop, it also causes a dip in neurotransmitters like serotonin.
Which explains the low energy, the brain fog.
The brain fog, reduced focus, and of course the cramps. It's all connected.
Okay, so we've got blood loss happening, and we've got low energy signals coming from our hormones. It seems logical that our nutrition would have to focus on what? Gentle support. Replenishment.
That's exactly it. The goal is twofold. You need to rebuild what you've lost, and you need to soothe the system that's currently dealing with inflammation.
So 2 key nutritional targets.
2 main ones. First, iron-rich foods. This is non-negotiable. Because of the blood loss, you have to support your energy production. You've got to combat that potential iron deficiency.
Even a small drop in iron can make you feel so tired.
Oh, dramatically. It impacts your mood, your energy, everything. The second key element is anti-inflammatories.
Okay, let's talk about that. Because cramps.
Because cramps.
Yeah.
Menstrual cramps are caused by these compounds called prostaglandins. They're what trigger the uterine muscles to contract.
So by eating anti-inflammatory foods,
You are actively getting in the way of the production and the impact of those prostaglandins. And that translates directly to less severe cramps.
that's a key distinction. You're not just taking something for the pain after it starts. You're using food to interfere with the pathway that causes the pain.
You're getting ahead of it. And on top of that, we layer in some gentle proteins and easy-to-digest healthy fats. You want things that are nutrient-dense but not hard on your digestive system.
So less of a giant wall salad and more nurturing cooked foods.
Think slow-cooked, steamed, things that are comforting and easy on the gut.
Okay, but let me push back on that a little for practicality's sake. The week 1 sample plan from bfit.ai, it suggests things like a spinach lentil bowl with turmeric for breakfast and a beef and vegetable stew for dinner. That sounds kind of heavy, doesn't it, for a digestive system that's already feeling a bit off?
That's a really great point, but the distinction is in the preparation. The cooking process in a stew or a lentil bowl actually starts to break down the nutrients for you.
Ah, so it's more bioavailable.
Exactly. It's much easier for your system to process and absorb the iron and protein from a stew than from, say, a huge raw steak or a really fibrous uncooked salad.
So it's about slow-cooked comfort, not raw bulk. That makes sense.
Precisely. And if you look at that spinach lentil bowl, it's a perfect example. Spinach has non-hum iron, the plant-based kind. Lentils give you that gentle protein and fiber. And turmeric.
Is the anti-inflammatory powerhouse?
It directly interrupts that prostaglandin pathway we were just talking about.
And isn't there something about combining those ingredients to help with absorption? Because plant-based iron, non-hum iron, is harder for the body to absorb.
You've hit on a crucial detail.
Yes.
When you eat non-hum iron from spinach or lentils, pairing it with vitamin C dramatically increases how much you can absorb.
So even if the recipe doesn't say add orange juice, the other vegetables in there are helping.
Right. The vitamins in the cooked vegetables or even a little bit of lemon juice or something in the bowl helps you optimize that whole process.
And that explains the beef and vegetable stew for dinner. That's giving you sheem iron, the animal-based kind, which is much easier to absorb.
Highly bioavailable. It maximizes your iron stores and supports your energy, all without putting a huge cold load on your digestive system.
And what about other micronutrients? Are we just focused on iron?
We also want to be thinking about B vitamins here, especially B12 and folate. They're essential for making red blood cells and for energy production. It's all part of supporting the whole system.
Okay, so if you're listening and you want the simple takeaway for phase one, it's this. Warm, digestible meals. Think lentils, maybe some high-quality red meat, berries, leafy greens.
And spices like turmeric or ginger.
Right. You're just nurturing your body back to its baseline and managing inflammation before it gets out of hand.
It's the replenishment phase. You're setting yourself up for the energy surge that's about to come.
All right, on to phase two, the follicular phase. This is usually days 6 through 14. And this is the part of the cycle that I think a lot of people really enjoy. You start to feel revitalized.
Yes, if phase one was the valley, this is the climb back up the mountain. And the reason for that feeling is one specific hormone, estrogen. It starts to rise, gradually, but significantly. As your body prepares an egg follicle for ovulation, that's why it's called a follicular phase, estrogen climbs.
And it's not just a reproductive hormone. It affects your brain, too.
Oh, absolutely. It's neuroprotective. It boosts your mood, your motivation, your cognitive function. It really is like a natural internal energizer. The brain fog lifts.
I hear people describe it as feeling like they're coming back online or getting their spark back.
That's a great way to put it. You have more physical energy, more motivation to do things, to work out. It's a natural recovery period.
So if energy is on the rise and the body is focused on growth, how does our nutrition strategy change? We're moving from gentle replenishment to what?
Building? Building and sustaining.
Yeah.
We're fueling that growth and supporting a stable release of energy. The focus shifts to three main things: complex carbohydrates, lean protein, and a lot of antioxidants.
Okay, let's start with complex carbs. Why are they so important now when your metabolism is still pretty stable?
Because they provide sustained fuel. We're talking about things like oats, whole grains, sweet potatoes. They release their energy slowly, so you don't get those blood sugar spikes and crashes.
You're basically supporting the naturally rising energy,
Right.
not creating a roller coaster.
You're creating a stable foundation for it.
Yeah.
And then there's the lean protein.
For muscle repair, I'm guessing, since you're probably more active?
Yes, but it's also for overall growth support. Estrogen actually makes your body better at using amino acids, so it's a really efficient time for muscle repair and building.
So chicken, fish, legumes.
All those are perfect. They give you the building blocks you need without a lot of heavy fat that can slow you down.
And antioxidants. You mentioned them for phase one, but why are they so critical here in the building phase?
They're like the cellular cleanup crew. As your body is ramping up all this growth and production, antioxidants help manage cellular stress and support recovery.
So it's about preparing for the intensity that's coming later in the cycle.
Exactly. And we should also layer in B vitamins again here. B6 and folate are especially important. They help your liver process that rising estrogen efficiently.
Ah, that's a great little detail. You're not just letting the estrogen rise, you're giving your body the tools to manage it properly for a smooth ride up.
And this is where that BFit.ai guide has a great tip about trying a schedule-aligned smoothie after a workout.
That makes perfect sense. It's an easy way to get all three of those things, complex carbs, protein, antioxidants in quickly when your body needs them most.
If you look at the week 2 sample plan, the breakfast is an oat smoothie with berries and protein powder. It's a perfect example.
Break that down for us. Why is that the ideal fuel?
Well, the oats are your complex carb for that slow, sustained energy release. The berries are packed with antioxidants to help with recovery. And the protein powder covers your lean protein for muscle repair. It's a complete meal designed to support that rising energy curve.
And then for dinner, something like grilled chicken with sweet potato and kale.
Same formula. Lean protein from the chicken, complex carbs from the sweet potato, and then all those amazing nutrients from the kale.
So the big takeaway for phase 2 is sustained energy and structural support. You're riding that wave of rising estrogen.
You are. You're building your foundation for the peak of the cycle, which is just around the corner.
Okay, now we are at the absolute peak, the midpoint. We have to separate these next two parts pretty clearly because they require such different strategies.
Very different.
First up, the intensity of ovulation.
Ovulation. It's usually just for a short window, around day 14, and it is the hormonal high point. Estrogen is at its absolute peak, but just as importantly, testosterone also spikes.
Which is not something we talk about as much.
No, but that combination is what signals maximum strength and energy. Physiologically, this is when your body is primed for high-intensity, high-load activity.
So if this is our peak performance window, our nutrition has to match that intensity.
It has to. The focus shifts to maximum structural support and optimal muscle function. That means a real focus on high protein intake.
To maximize muscle repair and maintenance when you're training your hardest.
Exactly. You're making those amino acids as available as possible. And you also need to focus on magnesium-rich foods.
Like nuts, seeds, dark leafy greens.
Yep. Magnesium is a cofactor in hundreds of reactions in the body, but it's especially important for nerve and muscle function. If you're lifting heavy or sprinting, magnesium helps ensure your muscles contract and relax efficiently.
It prevents cramping or early fatigue.
It does. And with all that intense output, hydration becomes even more critical.
I was just about to ask about that.
It's absolutely crucial. Your fluid and electrolyte needs go way up. You need water to transport all these nutrients, and you need electrolytes like magnesium to help the cells use them properly.
The week 3 sample plan from the source really leans into this idea of protein loading. There's protein at every single meal.
The strategy is simple. Fuel the body's maximum output. Look at the examples. An omelet for breakfast, that's a quick bioavailable protein. A tuna salad for lunch, which gives you protein and those healthy omega-3s.
And for dinner, a stir fry with tofu and brown rice.
See, it's not just protein in isolation. It's high-quality protein paired with complex carbs for that immediate but sustained energy delivery. Your body is running hotter during this phase, and you need to fuel the engine.
So you feel the peak, you support the strength, but then as soon as that peak is over, everything shifts.
Dramatically, you enter the luteal phase.
The 2-week wind down. And for many, this is the most challenging part of the whole cycle.
It can be. The big hormonal shift here is the rise of progesterone. Now, progesterone is essential. It stabilizes the uterine lining, but it comes with some less than pleasant side effects.
Let's get into those. What does rising progesterone actually do that messes with us so much?
2 main things. First, progesterone has a muscle relaxing effect, which again is great for the uterus.
But not so great for other things.
Not so great for your digestive tract. It slows down gut motility.
That's the technical term for how fast food moves through you.
Right. And when that slows down, you get constipation, digestive sluggishness, and that classic premenstrual bloating.
Okay, that's side effect number 1. What's number 2?
The impact on mood and energy, which leads directly to cravings. Progesterone's dominance can lead to fatigue, and it can mess with your blood sugar regulation.
So your body starts screaming for quick energy, sugar, refined carbs.
Precisely. And on top of that, your basal metabolic rate, the calories you burn at rest, actually increases slightly in this phase, so you genuinely feel hungrier.
Okay, so the mission here changes completely. We're no longer feeling peak performance. We're, stabilizing the system? Managing symptoms?
We are preempting the cravings and easing the symptoms. We need to tackle the bloating and the cravings at the same time.
How do we do that?
First, we lean into fiber-rich carbs. I'm talking sweet potatoes, quinoa, brown rice, beans, lentils.
And the fiber's there to keep things moving.
It's the internal traffic cop. Because progesterone is slowing things down, the fiber helps maintain regularity and lessens the bloating. Plus, these complex carbs give you that slow, sustained energy release to fight the fatigue.
You're using slow burn energy to stop the crash that makes you crave a candy bar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And second, you have to address the mood. This is where you bring in nutrients that support your neurotransmitters. The source mentions berries and dark chocolate.
Ah, the dark chocolate, not just a treat, a strategic tool.
A very strategic tool. High-quality dark chocolate, 70% cocoa or higher, is packed with magnesium.
The calming mineral.
It calms the nervous system, it can ease anxiety, and the cocoa itself has precursors to mood-boosting hormones like serotonin. It's a targeted strike.
We should also touch on calcium here, right? I've seen studies about that and PMS.
Yes, calcium is really important in this phase. Getting enough calcium can help with irritability, fluid retention, and even cramps. So things like dairy or fortified nut milks, dark leafy greens. It's a key player.
Yeah. And the week 4 sample plan shows how to put all this into practice. For breakfast, oatmeal with chia and berries.
That's the luteal phase blueprint right there. Fiber from the oats and chia, omega-3s from the chia for inflammation, and mood-balancing antioxidants from the berries. It sets you up for a stable morning.
And for dinner, comforting high-fiber meals. Things like turkey chili with beans and veggies.
Perfect. The beans are a fiber champion, actively fighting that digestive slowdown.
Or baked cod with roasted sweet potato.
Again, lean protein and omega-3s from the cod and those essential complex carbs from the sweet potato. You're actively reducing the severity of PMS symptoms before they even start.
It really feels like this phase is where the whole philosophy comes together. You understand the challenge progesterone, and you use nutrition to counteract it.
It is the most active phase of nutritional counter strategy. And if you get the luteal phase right, the menstrual phase becomes so much easier to manage.
This all sounds so intuitive, just following your body's natural energy. But let's talk about the proof. For people who need the hard data, what's the evidence that this actually works?
Well, the science is really starting to catch up and validate what so many people have experienced. The source material we looked at points to some specific research that gives us a lot of credibility.
Okay, what did it find?
There was a 2023 review that looked at a whole bunch of studies, and it found a direct link. It said that adjusting your macros, your carbs, proteins, and fats based on your cycle phase can significantly reduce PMS symptoms.
So fewer symptoms.
And it also improved mood and metabolic markers.
Wow, so it's not just about how you feel, it's about measurable changes in your metabolic health, like a more stable insulin response.
Exactly. You're optimizing your body's efficiency. For example, during that luteal phase, when your insulin sensitivity might dip a little, choosing high-fiber carbs helps you manage your blood sugar so much more effectively.
Which keeps your energy and mood from going all over the place.
Right. And then there was another study referenced in nutrition reviews that was all about timing.
The timing of your meals.
The timing of specific nutrients. It found that when you intentionally eat nutrient-dense meals during the luteal phase, you can lessen bloating and cramps.
So it's not just what you eat, but when you eat it. You're loading up on the good stuff before the problems even start.
You're giving your body the defense mechanisms it needs ahead of time.
Okay, this is great. But for someone listening, looking at a 4-week meal plan might feel completely overwhelming.
It can definitely feel that way.
So let's break it down. What are the first, easiest, most actionable steps you can take?
Number one, and you cannot skip this, is you have to track your cycle.
You need the map.
You absolutely need the map. Use an app, use a diary, whatever works. But you need to note not just your period dates, but how you feel, your energy, your cravings, your mood.
So you can start to see your personal patterns.
And you can anticipate your needs instead of just reacting to them. Without tracking, the rest is just guesswork.
Okay, track your cycle. What's the next big lever to pull?
Strategic macro adjustment. But keep it simple. Just focus on the biggest shifts.
For example,
Prioritize those higher fiber-rich carbs during the luteal phase to keep your energy and digestion stable. And then prioritize higher protein around ovulation to support your peak strength.
so you're not overhauling everything, you're just tweaking the dials.
That's it. Swap in a candy bar for a handful of nuts in the afternoon during your luteal phase. That one small change can have a massive impact on that afternoon slump.
Okay. Tracking, macro adjusting. What's the third pillar?
Hydration
M.
and electrolytes. This is always important, but it's especially critical in the luteal phase.
Because that's when you tend to retain water and feel bloated.
Exactly. And ironically, the best way to fight water retention is to drink more water and make sure you're getting enough electrolytes. It helps your kidneys flush everything out properly.
Now, beyond the big macros, the guide also talks about specific micronutrients, little helpers.
Right, the supporting cast. The big three are omega-3s, magnesium, and the B vitamins, especially B6.
We hear about omega-3s for brain health all the time. What's their role here?
They are powerful anti-inflammatories. They actually compete with the compounds that can cause inflammation in the body. So they directly help reduce those prostaglandins that cause cramps. They are a non-negotiable for menstrual health.
So salmon, flax seeds, walnuts.
All great sources. Then there's magnesium. We talked about it for muscle function during ovulation, but its job in the luteal phase is maybe even more important.
The calming mineral.
It's the ultimate calmer. It helps with nerve and muscle relaxation, which can ease that premenstrual anxiety, help you sleep better, and relax the uterine muscles to reduce cramps.
So if you're not getting enough from spinach and nuts, a low-dose supplement could be a good idea.
It can be a really strategic way to manage symptoms, especially as you get closer to your period.
And finally, B6.
B6 is a crucial player in making neurotransmitters, like serotonin and dopamine. Low levels of B6 have been linked to more PMS symptoms, especially moodiness and irritability. So chickpeas, salmon, fortified cereals, they all help support your mood regulation.
Okay, even with these steps, I can hear people thinking, this sounds like a lot of work. Do I really have to eat completely differently every single week?
And that's a valid concern. The answer is absolutely not. You don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight.
So start small.
Start so small. Pick one thing. Maybe just focus on adding more iron-rich foods during your period. That's it.
Yeah.
Or just focus on swapping out refined carbs for whole grains in the 10 days before your period.
Find your biggest pain point and start there.
Exactly. If it's luteal phase cravings that get you, just work on that. Once that feels easy, you can layer in something else.
And what about effectiveness? Can this really help with severe PMS, or is this just for general wellness?
The evidence is strong on this. For many women, it can significantly reduce bloating, cramps, and mood swings. You're giving your body the specific tools it needs right when it needs them. It's a physiological fix for a physiological problem.
Okay, let's talk about some special cases. What about athletes? Can they use this to optimize performance?
Oh, for athletes, this can be a game changer. It's basically periodizing their nutrition to match their training.
So they would train differently at different times of the month?
And eat differently to support that training. During the follicular and ovulation phases, when they have that natural energy and strength boost, they'd focus on high-intensity training, heavy lifting, HIIT.
And their nutrition would be high protein, high carb to fuel that.
Right. But then in the luteal phase, when performance can naturally dip, they'd shift. Lower intensity, longer duration exercise, and their nutrition would focus on recovery, anti-inflammatories, and fiber.
It prevents them from overtraining when their body is naturally in a lower energy state.
It's about respecting the body's natural capacity, which actually leads to better long-term gains.
Okay, and now the big one, the question we get all the time. What about people on hormonal birth control?
This is a really nuanced area. We have to be clear that hormonal birth control works by altering your natural cycle. It provides synthetic hormones that create a much flatter hormonal landscape.
So you don't get that big estrogen peak at ovulation or that big progesterone rise in the luteal phase.
Not in the same way, no.
So does syncing still work or matter?
It does, but you adapt the principles. Many people still find it really beneficial. Instead of syncing to your natural cycle, you sync to your pill or patch schedule.
How does that work in practice?
Well, during your bleed week or placebo week, you'd follow the principles of the menstrual phase. Focus on those iron-rich anti-inflammatory foods to support your body during the withdrawal bleed.
Even though it's not a true period.
Even so. And for the 3 weeks you're on the active pills, your hormones are pretty stable. So you can adopt the general principles of the follicular phase.
So sustained energy, lean protein, lots of nutrient-dense foods.
Exactly. The goal shifts from counteracting big hormonal swings to just providing consistent supportive fuel for overall well-being. It's an adaptation of the principles, not an abandonment of them.
This has been such a comprehensive look at this. I mean, to sum it up, cycle syncing is really this proactive, personalized way to stop fighting your body.
It's about using food as optimized fuel for every single stage of the month.
And if you're looking to start, the key is just start small, track your cycle, pick one phase to work on, maybe the luteal phase, since that's where a lot of the symptoms pop up.
And listen to your body first and foremost. Use this as information, but always check in with yourself. And, of course, talk to a health professional before making any major changes.
We've seen the evidence. That 2023 review showed that these kinds of adjustments can make a real difference for PMS, for bloating, for cramps.
Which leaves us with a final thought. Something for you to mull over.
I'm ready.
If strategically timing what you eat, not just what, but when, can significantly reduce these chronic discomforts that we often just accept as part of life. What other common bodily issues could be managed by refining the timing of our nutrition?
That's a huge question. It challenges the entire way we think about food as just fuel.
It really does.
A fascinating thought to end on. To find out more about this guide and all the resources we talked about today, you can head over to befit.ai.
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.
Bye for now.